You're failing at sales probably because you're learning too slowly. See, nobody told you the truth. Mastery isn't about grinding harder, it's about collapsing time. See, every day you delay, you lose deals, money, and confidence. So I want to show you how to master sales really quickly, like fast, right now. See, mastery doesn't start with the gathering of information. It actually starts with momentum. See, if you're not engineering early wins, you're setting yourself up for burnout. You want to get what I call small wins that lead to monumental wins. Salespeople don't give up because they're lazy. They give up because they're learning without any reward. The mind, if you think about it, needs feedback to stay engaged. And if you go too long without proof that it's working, that your effort is paying off, you know what? Your subconscious mind will decide that it's not safe to keep going. Your subconscious mind doesn't want you to waste time. Early wins, even small ones, generate the kind of evidence that rewires your self-identity and your self-image. See, when you get a result, no matter how small, what it does is it validates your belief that change is not only possible, but it's happening. And success is right there within reach. What this does is it reinforces the story that this is working, I'm winning, and I'm doing the right thing. I'm not wasting my time, especially as adult learners. As adult learners, not only do we want to learn fast, we don't want to look foolish in the process. And the fastest way to accelerate belief change is to create conditions for what we call micro successes. In sales, that might mean securing a small agreement, receiving a moment of rapport, or getting an unexpected yes. Don't wait for the big win. Train yourself to see the small ones, and when you get them, by all means, celebrate. See, without momentum, the mind defaults to either fear, doubt, or confusion. And I'm going to tell you this. When fear shows up in any form, it convinces you to move back, to shrink, to diminish yourself, to marginalize yourself. You don't raise your price. You don't ask hard questions. You don't go for the close. You avoid those moments that would change everything because you want to play it safe. You don't want to look foolish. You don't want to lose. You want to win. And any risk that could cause you to lose, your subconscious mind will default to you not taking it. See, winning is not the result of confidence. Confidence is the result of winning. It's the law of cause and effect. The effect is confidence. The cause is you winning. It's not the other way around. So when you stack wins, small wins, and the confidence begins to take care of itself, then your subconscious mind buys into the entire process. Most salespeople mistake hard-earned experience for qualified mentorship. The two are completely different. See, the person who took 20 years to figure it all out can teach you to do the exact same things that they're doing now without you having to go through all those failures. What you want is someone who knows how to collapse time, someone who has results that you want, and more importantly, the ability and the willingness to transfer all of those results with precision to you. It's one thing to master the skill. It's another to be able to communicate that skill and help somebody so that they can also create that kind of a result. I remember when I was introduced to the book Think and Grow Rich by my first mentor, Patrick Hayes. I was introduced to the book not through reading, but through mentorship. See, Patrick Hayes didn't just hand me the book. He sat down and he taught me the book. He taught me how to think through it, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, page by page, chapter by chapter. Patrick never taught me what to think. He taught me how to think. He helped me see how my beliefs were shaping all of my results, that my beliefs were driving behavior, and those behaviors were creating results that I didn't want. That one act collapse decades of confusion into a season of absolute clarity. And my results changed significantly. Just, do a little bit of research on my story, from high school dropout, stuttering guy who couldn't lead a group in silent prayer, to building 6 multi-million-dollar companies, generating over $1 billion in sales, training more speakers, teachers, trainers, coaches than anybody else on the planet, in the history of the planet, dead or alive. See, the Martinelli sales method exists because I needed a system that taught people how to grow fast. Not through hype, not through, memorizing scripts, but through the kind of teaching that rewires belief, how you think about yourself, how you interact with clients, how the conversations that you're having can build massive rapport and establish you as an authority and an expert that quick. Great teachers give you language patterns that uplevels your self-identity. They help you see yourself in the result before it shows up. See, it's not just about having an image of you being successful. It's about putting you in that image. If you're still learning from someone who just made it work, you're learning how to survive and not how to succeed. You want to collapse time by borrowing belief by someone who has already become who you're becoming, who has the results that you want. That's how you skip years, not steps. Now look, before we go any further, I want you to download the free guide that I created called the Sales Energy Assessment. This isn't just another closing tactic or objection deflection trick. It's a diagnostic tool that shows you what frequency you're broadcasting out to your prospects. Because trust me, they feel your energy before they ever hear your pitch. First impressions are tough to change, and it's going to reveal whether you're operating from a mindset of scarcity, survival, or growth and abundance. And it's going to show you what behaviors sabotage your success without you even knowing it, because it happens at an unconscious level. Most people fail in sales not because of skill, but because their energy is misaligned with their message. The words just don't match the music. And this assessment will help you fix that. So go right now, download it. The link is right there in the description. My team put it right below the description, and let's keep going on. See, leverage is the art of doing more with less. It's when one shift in language patterns opens up a whole new conversation. It's when one well-placed pause transfers more certainty than 100 words ever could. It's the ability to create exponential movement and momentum with the least amount of effort, because you know where to apply pressure without pushing your prospect away. See, most salespeople are over-practicing the wrong things. They're perfecting their pitch, but they're missing the energy behind it. They're focused on features, not frequency. When you begin to leverage all of your words, your language pattern, your energy signature starts when you stop trying to get the sale and start trying to tune into the sale, tuning into what is their buying motivation. The Martinelli sales method is completely different. It's built on the idea that there are only a few things you need to master. You need to master certainty, rapport, and you need to master what we call commitment objectives. Like, what's the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing and saying what you're saying? How does you doing this or saying this advance certainty emotionally and logically in the mind of the buyer? Everything else, I'm sorry, it's just noise. When you stop chasing complexity and you start to master your energy signature and you master the reason for doing what you're doing, mastery speeds up. When I launched the John Maxwell team, I put $500,000 of my own money right on the line. Not because I had a guarantee. I didn't have a guarantee. But because I knew how to leverage my own self-confidence and the proximity I had to the right people. That one bet built a $500 million business. That's not luck. That's lawful leverage. If you're overwhelmed, you're not underskilled, you're underleveraged. And leverage is always available to you when you stop doing everything and start doing the right things. Mastery doesn't come from reps. It comes from refined reps. And that only happens when you shorten that feedback loop from behavior to result. Most salespeople are flying blind. They don't record themselves. They don't track objections. They're relying on a memory of a script and hoping to get better over time. But hope is not a learning strategy. Real feedback is. See, it's not experience that changes your results. It's evaluated experience. Feedback tells you what worked and what didn't. It shows you where your energy dropped, where you lost rapport, and where you abandoned your commitment objective, where maybe you went off course and off to where we call Pluto. This type of feedback lets you adjust in real time, not in hindsight, but while you're in it, while you're on the playing field. One of the most powerful questions you can ask after any conversation is, where did I lose certainty? Write that down. Where did I lose certainty? See, knowing that one moment of reflection can give you more growth than a week of calls or experience could ever give you. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your patterned behavior. Let me say that again. You don't rise to the level of your potential. Your potential is infinite. You don't get there accidentally, but I will tell you this. By default, you will fall. You will habituate down to the level of your pattern behavior. If you're not observing your pattern, if you're not making these types of adjustments in real time, you're reinforcing your plateau. The best performers in the world, whether they're in sales or they're the athletics, speakers, entrepreneurs, they are obsessed with evaluation. Think of an NFL team. They're all beat up at the end of the game on Sunday. What do they do on Monday? They watch the tapes of Sunday. They watch the tapes of Sunday because they want the feedback. See, sales should be no different. If you're not reviewing, then you're not improving. You will never outperform the own self-image you have. Your self-image and your self-esteem. Self-image is the image you hold of yourself. Self-esteem is your personal self-regard. The two of those blend to form a self-concept. You never outperform that self-concept, period, end of story. And if your self-identity doesn't match your intention, I guarantee you that you are sabotaging your results. I grew up in an abusive home. I had a stutter so bad that I could barely finish a full sentence without being mocked. I failed out of high school, never made it past the 10th grade. And I spent years believing that I was dumb and that I was stupid, that I was broken and that I was worthless. That wasn't just a feeling. It was a signal that I was broadcasting out to the world, a frequency of failure and struggle. Now, when I would meet people, they couldn't put their finger on it, but they said, something's just not right. I don't get a good vibe from that guy. What they were saying is that they were consciously aware of my negative vibration. If you think about what sales is the transference of the emotion of certainty. But you cannot transfer what you don't have. If your identity is uncertain, needy, or afraid, it doesn't matter how well you execute the script. Your energy will always tell the truth. See, the real work of mastering sales is mastering the story that you tell about yourself to yourself. Are you a trusted advisor or just a desperate chaser? Are you holding space for a decision, or are you hiding behind the next, newfangled technique that you'll learn from some weekend course? See, a strong self-identity is built through repetition of aligned action. See, it's not enough to think better thoughts. It's not about positive affirmation. You have to behave in a way that reinforces who you want to become. You got to speak it. You got to walk it. You got to lead with it, even when the results haven't caught up to you yet. See, most people are trying to learn their way into stronger, empowered beliefs. But belief doesn't come from learning, it comes through programming, it comes from becoming. And that starts with one decision: to be the person who now creates the results that you want in your life. Now, look, before we finish, I want you to download the Sales Energy Alignment right now. Do it now. It's going to show you exactly what energy you're transmitting out to the world and how to shift into the frequency that actually closes more sales. Then I want you to go and I want you to watch the next video. It's called The Poverty Programming Trap. And there, you're going to see how your financial thermostat is sabotaging your momentum before you ever pick up the phone or walk in the door. I'll see you on the next video.